Hello yogis, and welcome to your 15-minute stretch session. So this will be focused on your heart and your hips. So we're going to move through some fluid movement, but also have some longer, deeper holds. So I'll get you to start on all fours. So we are coming to our cat and our cow. So separate your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And just start to work with your breath. So as you inhale, look up towards the sky. And as you exhale, round through the upper back, tuck the tailbone and the chin under. Inhale, dip the belly, lift the tailbone and the gaze. And exhale to round. So you're opening out through the front body, shining through the heart as you inhale. And as you exhale, really release in between your shoulder blades. So just starting to find that beautiful spinal movement and really feeling that connection between your breath and movement. And then from there, if you'd like to stay with this traditional movement, you're more than welcome to. If you'd like to explore bent elbows on the inhale, and lifting the knees on the exhale, you can come into that movement now. But only if it feels good. We have a few more breaths here. Linking movement with breath. One more round. And then coming back to a neutral spine. As you inhale, press down through the left hand as you extend your right hand towards the sky. Thread the needle, right arm underneath left, maybe edging your left fingertips forward as you bring your right shoulder down towards the ground. Take a breath here. Gently bring your left hand back onto the mat. Inhale, lift the right hand towards the sky. And gently bring that hand back down. Other side, plant down through the right hand, left hand towards the sky as you inhale. Exhale, thread the needle. So you're extending the left hand long. Maybe the right fingertips crawl towards the front edge of your mat as your left shoulder comes towards the ground. One more breath. Then bring your right hand in. Inhale, left hand towards the sky. And bring that hand down towards the ground. Come back to your cat and cow. Inhale to look up towards the sky. Exhale. Everything rounds in. So you're working with your breath cycle here. If you'd like to come into any other variations, maybe it is once again the bent elbows and then lifting your knees off the ground. Maybe it's more of a side to side movement that feels good to release alongside your rib cage, your intercostal muscles. But whatever feels good, just starting to move into that tension or resistance that you're feeling through your body. So just starting to tune in, still linking movement with breath as you go from side to side. And then coming back through center. Then as you inhale, you're going to bring your right hand out in front, left leg out behind. Foot can be down or elevated, completely up to you. You're going to curl in first. Exhale to extend. Inhale to curl. And then extend. One more. Inhale to curl. Exhale to extend and hold. Option to reach back for your foot. And then kick into the hand, so that you start to have this beautiful opening through your heart space, the front of your right shoulder, but also into your left hip. Ground down through your right knee, left hand, one more breath. Then without slingshotting, it's a gentle release and come back to all fours. So your fingertips are facing towards the front of the room. If you'd like to explore having them out to the side or back towards you for your cat and cow, you can start to work into that now. But once again, just finding those little areas of resistance and tension in your body, and where can you start to let go? What movements can you tap into to release that tension? Keep working with your breath. One more round. At the end of that breath cycle, you're coming back to your neutral spine. And this time you're going to extend your left arm out in front, right leg out behind. It can be on the ground or elevated, whatever feels balanced for you. And then curling, elbow to knee, and then expanding back out. Inhale to curl. Exhale to reach. Inhale. Exhale. Option to pause here or reach left hand back for right foot. As you start to gently kick into that hand, opening out through the front of the left shoulder, shining your heart space, working into the hip. One more breath. Then with control, extending back out, come down to all fours. Now you have a few more cat and cows here, really enjoying the space that you have appearing along your backbone, opening out through your heart space with every inhale. Exhale, tucking the hips under and the chin. One more breath cycle. Deep breath in. And release. Beautiful. Come back to your neutral spine. And you're going to slide the feet back and the belly down. Come all the way down onto the ground. And bring your hands out wide. Create little cupcakes with your hand here. So you're up on your fingertips. Just starting to roll through a cobra here. So keeping the elbows and the hands out wide. Rolling up, so you're leading with the back of the heart and then leading with the heart on the way down. Finding this beautiful rolling wave-like motion as you articulate along your spine. Finding the height that feels good through your spine today. On the way back down, you're leading with the heart space. One more round. And then this time, dip down with your right shoulder. Look over your left. Come back through center. Dipping your left shoulder. Look over your right. Keep working with that motion from side to side now. Inhale to center. And exhale over to the side. Once you've evened up on both sides, come back to center and come to Sphinx pose with your elbows down on the ground. Roll your shoulders down and back, press down through your elbows and your hands. So you've created L shapes with your elbows here. So rather than dipping too far forward or hands too far out in front, just stack your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. Pausing there, shining the heart forward, gazes forward. Then you have the option of staying where you are, or you can start to bring your knees up to what we call tadpole. So knees out nice and wide, big toes touching. So it's a modified frog pose here. And from there you can still work through some gentle movement through your spine as you start to open out through the inner thighs and around the pelvis. Keep the breath moving. One more breath. And then sliding the hips back down, find your Sphinx pose. If it feels good to come into more of a cobra, coming up higher, just for a moment here, or maybe into a yin variation of seal where you can sink in through the lower back and find a little more openness. You're welcome to take that variation. One more deep breath. Then slowly come back down. We're going to come back into extended child's pose. So take your time, you're extending your hands out in front, sinking your hips down towards your heels, forehead comes down onto the ground. Maybe rolling your head from side to side if that feels good through the third eye chakra in the middle of your eyebrows. One more breath. And then you're going to come forward into Anahatasana, so your heart melting pose, or you might recognize it as puppy pose. You're sliding your hands forward, hips come up nice and high, and just melt your heart space down towards the ground. Now it's a safer position for you to have your forehead down on the ground. Unless you're really open through your shoulders and your neck, then your chin can come onto the mat, but I recommend otherwise just keep your forehead down on the ground. If you are quite mobile, you might even explore having your knees in a little closer so that your hips are up even higher as you melt the chest down towards the ground. Enjoy that opening through the shoulders, through the heart. Hips are up nice and high. One more breath. And start to slowly bring your hands back onto the ground and sink your hips back towards your heels. You're going to come into a lunge, so right foot forward, left foot back. And we're just going to come into some movement here. So it might feel good to have a little rock from side to side, maybe back and forward. So just start to now explore how your hips are feeling. If your hip flexor, so at the front of your left hip is feeling tight, then maybe you're keeping low hips. If there's more tension through the back of the right leg, maybe you're starting to ease back into half Hanuman, so into your half splits. Maybe it's a little side to side motion, a bit of rotation. So just start to check in now and just allow yourself to have a little bit of free movement here. Moving back and forward. And then starting to settle into your low lunge, and your hands are going to frame your front foot. So front ankle directly underneath your front knee. Sink the hips down gently, and you might decide to stay here. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, then maybe you're starting to lift the back heel off the ground. Maybe right hand is reaching for left foot and shining the heart towards the sky as you melt your hips down. So it is a slight rotation through the spine. Opening out through the front of the right shoulder as you come into that gentle twist. Maybe you're coming onto the outside of your right foot as well. So the right knee can start to wing out to the side a little bit as well. One more breath. Then gently releasing, and we'll all come into half split, so into your half Hanuman. Extending through the front leg, leading with the chest, nice neutral spine. And take a bend through the front knee. We'll come into an easy twist. So you might like to keep your back knee on the ground as you bring your right hand to the hip or towards the sky. Maybe you're tucking the back toes under and lifting the back knee off the ground. But shine the heart towards the sky. Draw the right hand behind you. Fingertips are energized. One more breath. Then bring your right hand down, pushing back into your downward facing dog. Now feel free to walk your dog out, pressing one heel down at a time. Opening out through the back of the legs, Achilles, hips up nice and high, creating that upside down V shape. And then finding stillness, take a breath, and start to step your left foot forward and bring your back knee down onto the ground and start to explore that free movement again here. So it might be a little bit of a move from side to side. Maybe you are just pausing at the bottom of your lunge to open out through your right hip flexor. Maybe you're starting to extend through the front leg, or just starting to rotate through all of those positions, but just start to tap into where those sticky spots are on this side. Opening out around the hips. One more breath. Then you'll settle down nice and deep into that low lunge. Hands are framing the front foot. Front shin bone is vertical, straight up and down. Maybe you're starting to bend through the right knee and reach your left hand back for your right foot. Maybe you're coming onto the outside edge of the left foot and that left knee starts to wing out a little. Maybe starting to rotate and twist. Shine the heart towards the sky as you lower your hips and really open out around the pelvis. One more beautiful breath here. Find your expression. And then slowly releasing back to center. And then we'll all meet in half Hanuman, so straightening through your front leg for your half splits. Opening out through the back of the leg, so this really starts to get into your hamstrings. Flex your left toes back towards you. Keep a nice neutral spine. Then bending through the front knee, come back into your low lunge. You might choose to stay here as you twist with the back knee on the ground, left hand to the hip or towards the sky. Maybe you're tucking your back toes under, lifting the back knee off the ground as you start to open out through the chest. Spinning the heart towards the sky. Maybe you're drawing that left hand behind you as the heart space really starts to open out towards the sky. Bring your left hand down and you're working your way back to your down dog once again. Either finding stillness or movement here, whatever your body needs. Hips up nice and high, maybe pedaling the feet out. Might feel good to bend through the knees, swivel the heels to one side and the other. So whatever feels good in your body. Then we'll start to walk the feet forward. We're going to meet in Malasana, your deep yogi squat. So I'll start to face the camera. So you can start to see that when I come into Malasana, my feet turn out. You might need to do the same, or maybe you're able to squat with your feet parallel. So whatever feels good for you, but don't always go to what you usually go to. You can always explore to see if your feet need to be a little closer or a little further apart. Sinking the hips, lifting up through the crown of your head. Now, if it's possible, you keep your heels anchored. If that's not available, hands can be on the ground and your heels can be lifted. But just trying to settle into a pose that allows you to just find some stillness, allowing the inner thighs to release, bringing hands to heart center, maybe starting to close your eyes down. One more beautiful breath. And bringing your hands down onto the ground, coming to seated. Now you're more than welcome to take that sequence again if it felt good, opening out through your heart and your hips and just finding some movement in the body, finding connection with your breath. So I hope that it has given you a beautiful little yoga break for your day and enjoy the rest of the day ahead. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.